I feel good. I took some time off of YouTube, no Keith in my life. I feel good. I've decided to give it another go. I'm gonna try to get back into YouTube, and you know what? I'm gonna make a goal. I'm gonna try to reach 200 subs by the end of April. I feel good. Today is a good day. Today is a good day. I feel a change
You
in
can also
the
go check out Christian. If he gets to 200 subscribers before the end of this month, he's going to
No,
review Digimon,
no,
guys.
I'm not.
So let him do it.
fucking Keith has taken the 200 subs goal that I created, and he's taken it into his own hands. And he went on a little social media campaign, saying if we could get Social 200 subs, you review fucking Digimon. I'm gonna review fucking Digimon. Ooh,
because if we can just get him to that 200 threshold in under 20 days, he'll have to review Digimon. The whole first season.
And it has happened. We have passed 200 subs. Fine, Keith. I'll review Digimon.
Sol. Where's the Digimon review, Sol? We miss you. I'm a little deep but sure danced out. Where is the Digimon review now? Oh look, we hit 200 subscribers. But no Digimon review. Where's the Digimon review?
I'm really getting sick of your bullshit. Release the Digimon review.
I'm so tired of waiting for the Digimon review. I want to kill your character in Tabletop and Chill.
So this is happening.
It's about fucking time you finished it.
Hello. Welcome to Soul Show. My name's Soul. And today, we are reviewing Digimon. Hey Digimon, hey Digimon. I finally said that. That feels just terrible. I've lost the war. So this video started as an inside joke between me and my friend Keith Legion of Decoded. Links to the videos that will put context into this review and just his channel, those are all down below. And before I jump in, I do want to give my background to the big mega franchise that is Digimon. Well, first off, I want to say it has nothing to do with Pokemon. Let's get that out of the way. But Digimon, I remember watching the Digimon movie at like dozens of times. I've mentioned this before. I watched the hell out of that movie in my childhood and beyond. Apart from that, I did catch a couple episodes from each of the shows, including this one. I played a couple of the games on PlayStation 1. I do have like a childhood connection to Digimon, even though I never really got into it like I did with Pokemon or Dragon Ball or something like that. I do have nostalgia, I do have a connection. It's not that strong, and sometimes it's connected with like the Bare Naked Ladies or something. But that's my background. As far as the show itself, it's about a group of kids who just get plucked out of their ordinary lives at summer camp, and they wake up in a digital world, and there are digital monsters, and there's a lot of digital things. The prefix digi and the suffix mon are going to be said a lot. Like a lot. So basically the kids have to find a way to get home, protect people, and it's a big epic story. I did watch this dubbed, so of course keep that into consideration, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of differences considering. Let's just say the dub is very punny.
In fact, you might even say I turned over a new leaf. You can take care of those other Digidestined children if you want to, but as for this one, leave him to me. I'll have him climbing up a tree before I'm through with him.
And if you were like me as a kid, you really liked Pokemon, and when you heard about Digimon, like, Pokemon was your crack, but Digimon was that, like, hot new drug for a minute, and everyone just had to try it. I really just realized what I was comparing to drugs. Oh my god. But even though I did watch this dub, I do want to say the dub, although it was pretty bad for a lot of parts, they really started to get better and better, and they really matured, just as like the characters in the show started maturing. For instance, everyone was kind of like an archetype. Izzy, for example, he was a computer nerd. Episode 1, wouldn't shut up about anything except fucking computers. By the end of the show though, he had like a three-dimensional personality, he had a family, a lot of stuff was revealed about him, but he still got his computer jokes in there. And oh my god, if I have to hear this man say prodigious one more time.
Prodigious, 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 prodigious.
And I think I'm going to cover these by arcs. So the first arc, basically, we are introduced to this new cast of characters, we are introduced to this world. The show wasn't originally going to be nearly as long. I heard that the first arc was going to be it, but thankfully it wasn't, because the first arc, you know, it was alright, but it was just kind of generic, you know, generic bad guy, you know, we gotta save the blah 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 adventure, Digimon, digital monsters, hey Digimon, hey Digimon, you know, the usual stuff. And let's jump into the second arc. It doesn't have a generic bad guy. Let's talk about that bad guy.
Yeah, I'm the coolest cat there is, so if you don't watch out, I'm gonna get you good, you scream and shout. And I don't even notice when it hurts anymore.
And a big part of the second arc was playing with forms. Like, basically all the Digimon, they can digivolve into the Mega Digimon and all this other stuff. And, you know, this is not my final form, all that good stuff. And I actually really cared, because I didn't know what these Digimon would digivolve into, and that's always exciting when you don't know, and you see them just transform into this giant monster dinosaur cyborg thing. Plant, monster bird, like, it's epic, you know? It really brings out that curiosity and imagination. And, you know, it brought me back to the days when the deepest parts of stories I cared about were like, what is this giant monster gonna turn into? Super Saiyan Part 7, you know, that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, none of the Digimon started glowing and going golden like in Dragon Ball or Sonic. That would have really sparked my childhood. And then we have the third arc. Basically, this arc takes place in the real world, and it really brought the characters back, you know? We really were like, oh, they're on their normal playing field now. We can relate to them, like getting across the city, like having to get rides and shit. We related to them. And they actually used parents. Like, a lot of shows, you can't have the parents, but this show actually introduced parents and had them meet the right place, where we can't have parents for obvious reasons, but at the same time, we have to establish they're human beings, and kids don't have much more depths and backstories that can't contain, you know, a parent. So I enjoy them including the parent. And I don't want to rag on the animation too much, but god, there was some repeated animations, and you know, the really just flat green and the backgrounds in the previous arcs were really getting to me. But I really thought, you know, when they were in the city, you know, it was the quality of animation was really stepping up at this point. Like, I was really like, okay, this is a lot better. And then we had the final arc, which was pretty much just a lot of boss battles, you know, a lot of character development, a lot of closure, a lot of really sappy stuff. I think it's definitely probably the high point objectively for the series. And, you know, these characters actually got closure and the ending didn't suck, which in anime is, you know, sometimes hard to come by with an actual good ending. So I appreciated that. The final arc was definitely a very strong high point for the series. So I got some initial gripes. Like, first off, there are some plot holes I noticed. I didn't like how Kari was basically treated like Jesus for a little bit. It also had a chosen one trope, which, you know, it was very convenient writing. And the writing seemed to like ignore its own rules a lot of the times, like, oh, this digital aspect to it, like, oh, let's just ignore that or ignore this, but it's needed here. Like, it was very convenient. But at the same time, a lot of those gripes I have, I really just kind of shrug them off because one, it is, you know, a kid's show initially, and second, this is so fantasy and so make-believe, like, it's not taking itself that seriously, so I never felt the need to take it that seriously. But I did think that it did have some problems, and those definitely held it down. And those actual problems are, again, I didn't like that every Digimon seemed to have like one attack, and it literally just repeated the same animation of it using that attack. I didn't like how it repeated the animations of them digivolving over and over again. I'm like, okay, you're digivolving. I get it. I get it. Agumon, you want to use a different move there, buddy?
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
And I don't want to just compare this to Pokemon, but there's a lot on Digimon's side that are better. For instance, the Digimon actually talk, and they seem to have actual, like, real friendships based upon just saying, you know, oh, we're friends. They actually seem to have connections, and they spoke with their Digidestins. And the Digidestins, trainers, whatever you want to call them, they actually got their hands dirty, or they would, you know, jump in the way of an attack. And I'm like, oh, you're actually risking your health for this. And I actually really got the sense, like, that they were all best friends with their Digimon. And the Digimon ultimately were the best part of the show for me. I did like the Digimon and their relationships with their Digidestins, but I didn't necessarily like the kids by themselves. For instance, Tai, you know, I've seen Tai a million times. He's a happy, confident, courageous leader who's, you know, fun. I've seen him a million times. He's got the spiky hair, as I assumed he'd have. Like, oh my god, like, his hair is so giant, right? I thought it would weigh him down and he'd tip over at, like, any second. But otherwise, you know, I thought Tai was fine. Then we had Matt. Matt was an interesting character because I was like, oh, he's the rival, he's the best friend. But at the same time, he never really took the traditional roles that that character would have. He was very moody, and at one point I was like, I really am just kind of done with you, Matt. But he kind of won me over by the end. And thankfully, and even though I don't like him, but thankfully, Gabumon is his Digimon. And I think Gabumon is my favorite character in the entire show for one reason, and one reason only, and that is his voice.
GoMorningSol! Are you okay? Matt, stop putting yourself down. Sure, you have some teenage angst, but you've been a great brother to TK.
Oh, come on, Matt, don't do this. And then we had Izzy. I thought Izzy did a good job. You know, he was the comedic relief, at least Tentamon was. I love Tentamon, I love his voice, I love his character. I thought they were both, you know, really just charming, funny guys. I really like them. And then there was Sora, and I remember in Digimon the movie, basically, Sora, her character was, you know, she has a hat. And in this, she also has a hat. And then there was Kari, who again I said was like my favorite human. One, because I honestly just felt it was using her character right, and her crest actually represented her actual personality. And because, like, she's like this people pleaser. Like, she will put other people so far above her, and I related to that, like, I'm a people pleaser attitude. And again, I honestly felt like you're a cool person, I like your Digimon, you got a cool relationship. There were just no problems all around with her, except that whole Jesus thing, but that's not her fault. We don't blame you, Kari. As far as all the other humans, I was like, you're fine, you know. There were moments where I really just didn't like you, but by the end, you know, we're all good, we're all friends, happiness. Hey Digimon, hey Digimon. Good God, that dub. It doesn't care, like, what scene, or, like, how dark, or just how epic the thing is going on. It's just like, hey, let's play this song. And so, final takeaways for Digimon. I thought, you know, there was a lot of fun battles, there was a lot of interesting ideas. Although you could compare it a lot to Pokemon, I thought, you know, it's its own thing, really. and I thought it was just a lot of fun. It was a simple fantasy story, and it did a good job. Did I think it was amazing? No. I think maybe if I had that childhood nostalgia, I definitely would. But, you know, watching this as a 19-year-old, not a lot there for me in that terms. But overall, it could have been a lot worse. But it ended up being good. And with that, I give Digimon Adventure 1 a 7 out of 10. And I also give it the Soul Completed It badge, because I completed it and I'm proud, and why the fuck not? It's finally over. It's finally over, you guys. Thank you for watching. As always, you guys are the best. You can check out my Patreon, my Twitter, all that good stuff. You guys are the best. I love you, and with that, I leave you.
Okay, fine. I use the merit of enchanting voice to attempt to persuade him to let us in.
Alright, let me look at the enchanting voice real quick.
Oh god, you're a fucking Toreador, aren't you?
Okay. Well, sucks to be Soul.
I walk up to said guy and try to engage him in conversation.
I look back at Soul and glare at him.
You stupid ass. Oh, sorry, that's what Keith was thinking. I get hit for metagaming.
I did the weekend review, Sol. I
did
the weekend review, Sol.
You're not on your home turf. How does it feel?
This is our neck of the woods now.
Okay, before we isolate everyone, we're doing a spoiler talk for Digimon, and since you're the reason this is happening in the first place, I thought I'd bring you in for, since I've seen it, as spoiler discussion thing.